Ever since the Guinness Book of World Records was first published back in 1955, there have been extraordinary attempts by people from across the world to get their names to go down in history by doing the almost impossible. While many people make and break world records, there are some who go so extreme that their feats are either impossible to beat or rather undesirable to beat. Today we take a look at 20 shocking world records that no one wants to beat. Before proceeding, do subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos. Pulled by a horse with body burn. In 2016, professional stunt artist Josef Stodtling made the Guinness World Records for the longest distance to be tracked by a horse while on fire. Using a stunt horse, Josef set his whole body on fire while he tracked for a mind-boggling 500 meters under extreme conditions, while he was protected by layers of clothing and cooling gel. This was a stunt that could have gone horribly wrong, and it is not something anyone should ever try even with the right equipment. Longest time without sleep. Most of us cannot get through a single day without a few hours of sleep. Yet in 1964, Gardner did the impossible and went for a whopping 11 days and 25 minutes without sleep. During the course of his sleeplessness, Randy was studied by researchers who wanted to examine the impact lack of sleep had on his health. He had a whole team of people working to keep track of his every movement, as no one knew if anyone would ever attempt to repeat such a daring feat again. Longest sword swallowed. The idea of swallowing a sword may seem painful and bizarre, and yet there are many stuntmen and women who perform this feat for the amusement of the masses. We are sure you have seen sword eaters at circuses and fairs. So what about a sword swallowing record? Well, in February 2009, Natasha Veruschka swallowed a sword measuring 58 centimeters, thus creating a world record for the longest sword ever swallowed in such a feat. The very thought of this sounds painful. We cannot even imagine Natasha going through with it. World's heaviest man. We all know the struggle of trying to lose a few pounds, but imagine having to lose more than several hundred. Jon Brower Minnoch was the world's heaviest man, weighing in at 635 kilograms in 1978. The irony is that the woman he married weighed only around 50 kilograms. Minnoch's extreme weight meant that it often took several people to help move him between places. He even needed people to help him roll over. World's heaviest woman. Jon Brower Minnoch's counterpart among the women was Florida resident Rosalie Bradford. Bradford's weight peaked at 544 kilograms and caused her to fall into deep depression. Her attempts to commit suicide with painkillers failed, as the tablets had no effect and merely put her into deep sleep owing to her excessive weight. On the happier side, Rosalie Bradford did marry and left behind a son when she passed away in 2006. Largest kidney stone. In February 2004, a police constable from Mumbai, India had a kidney stone removed that measured around 13 centimeters. This went into records as the largest kidney stone ever, for normally kidney stone only average around 9 centimeters. The man in question is Vilas Kuge, and the doctor who performed the surgery is Dr. Heminder Shah from RG Stone Urological Research Institute in Mumbai. A painful record indeed, but one that will be remembered nonetheless. Longest time spent on a gurney. Tony Collins of Wiltshire UK spent an alarming 77 hours and 30 minutes on a gurney in a hospital corridor back in 2001. This got him an entry into the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest time spent in a gurney. Collins suffered from diabetes and admitted himself to hospital for treatment for a virus when the unexpected world record took place. Though we are sure no one covets him this record due to the extreme discomfort he probably went through seeking a bed at hospital. Most lightning strikes survived. A park ranger in Virginia holds the world record for the greatest number of lightning strikes ever on a human being. C Sullivan was struck a total of 7 times by lightning while working at the Shenandoah National Park. He is indeed lucky to have survived these strikes, for people have been known to fall dead with a single strike of lightning. Sadly, Roy passed away in 1983 from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. There was no known or declared reason for his suicide. Heaviest automobile head balance. Most of us grunt at the thought of having to carry a few extra bags while doing the groceries. Yet in May 1999, British national John Evans created a new world record by balancing an entire car on his head. The vehicle in question weighed in at a whopping 160 kilograms and Evans balanced it for a mind-boggling 33 seconds. Just that sink in for a bit. We are halfway through the records, and I'm sure you guys will agree that these are some mean feats. Would you dare try some of them? What do you think of people who attempt such feats? Are they really daring or simply attention hungry? Do let us know what you feel in the comments below. Now back to our list. Most number of broken bones. Robert Craig Kneivel, also known as Evel Knievel, holds the record for the most number of broken bones. The pioneer of motorcycle stunts, Kneivel suffered a painful 433 bone fractures during his career as a stuntman. This excruciating record included impacts to his skull, jaw, wrists, back, and ribs. I think we can agree that not even the toughest of people would ever want to consider breaking this world record. Most clothespins on a human face. This might sound like a strange stunt, yet Silvio Sabà felt it necessary. In 2012, the Italian national entered the Guinness World Records for the greatest number of clothespins stuck to a human face. His record stands at 51 clothespins. We cannot imagine the intense discomfort that he must have gone through for this record. How did he even manage to breathe or hold still? Also, think about how strange the whole sign must have looked. Longest distance thrown by a tornado and survived. Now this is the stuff that makes Hollywood movie stories or even plot lines. In 2006, Missouri resident Matt Sutter was picked up by tornado winds hurled a distance of 1,307 feet. This almost equals the length of 4 football fields. The lucky teenager survived the impact though. It definitely left a permanent mark on his memory. The incident is so scary it is often considered one of the most deadly near-death situations from which the victim was truly lucky to have escaped alive. Needless to say, we are sure that Matt Sutter stays indoors during storms now. Farthest milk squirting from eye. Getting milk in one's eye is definitely not a pleasant experience. However, Turkish national Iker Yilmaz does think otherwise. In September 2004, Yilmaz entered the Guinness Book of World Records for squirting milk a distance of 279.5 centimeters from his eye. He had sucked in the milk through his nose before performing the stunt. We really are not sure what inspired him to perform a stunt of this kind, but he did and got himself a world record. Longest ear hair. The thought of growing ear hair is enough to drive anyone to fetch a pair of scissors and get their grooming in order. However, in 2005, Indian grocer Radhakant Bajpai entered the Guinness World Records for growing ear hair that measured 13.2 centimeters. Heaviest vehicle pull. In July 2017, Reverend Kevin Fast of Ontario, Canada achieved the heaviest vehicle pull across a 100-feet course. For this feat, he pulled 3 aerial fire trucks whose combined weight equaled more than 99,000 kilograms. Definitely a back-breaking stunt that would make most shy away. Longest fingernails. Long nails do look good, but if they are too long, they can interfere with your ability to do things. So this next feat has us truly amazed. In 2018, Ayana Williams entered the Guinness World Records for growing the longest fingernails ever. Her nails measured in at 5.76 meters in total. First implanted antenna. Neil Harbison from London entered the Guinness World Records for being the first person in the world to have an antenna implanted into his skull. The British national also holds the distinction of being the first cyborg to be recognized by his government. We can't help but wonder how painful his ordeal must have been. Oldest bodybuilder. Jim Arrington created a world record for being the oldest bodybuilder in the world at an admirable 85 years and 6 days. Through the past many decades, Arrington has won several titles in professional bodybuilding and is truly a figure of inspiration. Yes, if he can do it at 85 years of age, the rest of us certainly have no excuses left. Most Marmite eaten. Germany's André Althoff holds the record for the most amount of Marmite eaten in a single minute. The Bavaria resident also holds several other eating world records, including most yogurt eaten in a minute, most mashed potato eaten in a minute, and most soup eaten in 30 seconds. Impressive stuff indeed. Most number of children born. Ask any woman who has been through children's birth about how painful the experience is physically, and you will admire the strength it took her to go through with it. Giving birth to one child is hard enough. Now imagine giving birth to 69. Known only by the name Mrs. Vasilyeva, a woman in Russia gave birth to 69 children in her lifetime. She lived in the 1700s, which meant she had no access to painkillers or medical aid. Her record remains unbeaten till date, and we are sure no woman wants to even think about getting close to it. Like what you saw? Do support us by hitting the like button. Comment below and let us know the ones you're eager to catch. Hope you enjoyed our video, and do not forget to share. For more great content, subscribe to our channel. See you next time.